Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Adriana Lopez, and in this presentation, I'll be talking about green algae. I do want to state that I am the only one working in this project, so I don't have a partner. But however, I do want to address something important. In this presentation, you might hear some background noises, as in cars, people talking, dogs barking. I'm so sorry for that. I do feel like outdoor for me right now is the most convenient place to do this presentation. So, yes, I'm so sorry. But I hope you guys enjoy this presentation. You guys are not just going to be learning about green algae, but you will also be learning about some fun facts, something interesting that you probably really didn't even know about. And I didn't even know about, to be honest. So, yeah, hope you enjoy. Now, before I go into what green algae is, as you can see, that's what is said in my slide. I do want to state something. I am camera shy. However, I am trying to overcome this, in a way, fear of being more, try to be more presentable. So I do apologize in advance that if I do stutter or I do attempt to pause, but I am trying my hardest to try to make sure that this presentation flows as much as I can. But again, I will be now discussing what green algae is. So green algae is known to be a simple non-flowering and typically an aquatic plant of a large group that includes the seaweed and many single forms. Now, many of us may not know how algae actually looks like. Again, like I have stated, there is many types of algae. In this case, you do see there are 4 types here as shown. So we will be again discussing more in the presentation on the forms, the textures, and maybe we'll see more pictures along the way. Now, an important question is what kind of microbe is algae considered to be, which is a great question. Algae is considered to be an organism, often microorganisms. Algae are defined as eukaryotic organism that synthesizes but lacks the specialized multicellular reproductive structures of plants. Now here we're going to be talking about classifications of algae. Here it says that the macroalgae is considered to be seaweed. The kingdom protista and the 3 phylums. I hope I'm saying this correctly. My pronunciations are pretty off, so I'm just telling you this in advance. The photophyta is considered to be the green algae. The rhydophyta is considered to be the red algae, and the phaeophyta is considered to be the brown algae. So these are the classifications of algae in our, algae family. Now here we will be discussing about the algae structure. Now the algae has no roots, uh, no stems, neither leaves. The thallus is considered to be the whole entire body. That's what it's called, a thallus. The blade, which is the leaves, would be considered the photosynthesize. The stripe is considered the stem, but does not transport any nutrients. Um, and the hold fast is considered to be the roots, but does not absorb any nutrients. And then the float is considered to be the where it fills up with air and gas within the algae. Whenever you see an algae, that's when it has this like little bubbly area, which would be considered the float. Now in this presentation, there's 2 images here shown in the slide, and these 2 images are actually microscopic views of algae. And our right side, it's an image of algae being shown under a microscope. And then on our left side, it's the same exact deal, same thing. However, it's a magnification of 400, which is pretty fascinating to see algae underneath a microscope, if you ask me. Now, in this presentation, it's going to be talking about algae replication. Algae regenerates by sexual reproduction involving male and female gametes as insect cells by asexual reproduction or by both ways. Many small algae reproduce asexually by ordinary cell divisions or by refragmentations, whereas large algae reproduces by spores. Now here, as you can see, there's an image of algae's reproduction system, but in steps. However, I am not going to be able to go through it brief by brief, as in section by section. However, I'm just going to do a quick summary on some of the areas here in this image. So on the very top part, this is a sexual reproduction system. This is, where from the beginning all the way to the end. And on the bottom, as you can see, it shows the asexual reproduction. So as you can see, there's two different kinds of reproductions. And again, there's sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. That's why I have stated in the past presentation how they're two different forms, have two different kinds of systems. I hope so far you guys are having a really fun time learning a bit more about algae. However, it is time to loosen up a little bit and to actually learn a bit more of fun facts of algae, which some of us probably don't even know. Or to me, when I was doing this research, I didn't know some of these fun facts that I will be listing now. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, here's the fun facts. Did you know algae is considered to be a one-celled plant that can grow in your pool if conditions are favorable? There are over 400,000 known varieties of algae, so that's a lot of varieties here. Algae are mainly found in the marine or freshwater environment. Algae produce oxygen with other aquatic life uses. It's pretty crazy. Alright, if I'm being honest here, I'd say that this slide is considered to be a bit more fun than the last slide that we just read right now. So again, same thing. Did you know? Fun facts. So let's start off with the first PowerPoint. It says the ocean covers about 71% of Earth's surface, yet algae produces more than 71% of Earth's oxygen. Pretty interesting. Algae also helps remove huge amounts of carbon dioxide here in our planet. Fossilized algae are used to make dynamites. Algae may also be helping our planet today. I mean, it does take a big role now if it says that it produces 71% of Earth's oxygen. I mean, think about it. If we didn't have algae, maybe we would probably be not in a good situation right now. But yeah. Now in this slide, we're just going to go back in deep on learning a bit more about algae. So stay tuned for our last upcoming. Now, one of the questions are, can algae cause diseases? Algae can produce toxins that can make people and animals sick. Illnesses and symptoms caused by harmful cyanobacteria and algae based on where each one is mostly likely to be found. Is there any treatments to algae diseases? There are no specific antidotes for cyanobacterial toxins for intestines and of contamination water or seafood. So it's just to stop the exposure by avoiding contaminated seafood or water. For inhalation of aerosolized toxins is just to stop the exposure by moving to a fresh, non-contaminated environment and treat respiratory system accordingly. So basically, just to remove yourself and detox yourself away from those things, the algae that is harming you. Now we have reached the very end to my presentation of algae. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thank you so very much for listening, and thank you again.